to consistency. So I think that we probably all agree that our customers that get into a regular habit are the ones that see a long-term difference, and that they keep taking it regularly, right? And that's what we really want. We want them to experience that cumulative effect of taking Juice Plus consistently. And then the third thing is really we want to build and maintain trust with our customers. So yes, we want to help them, feel empowered to manage their own orders if that's what they feel more comfortable with, or show them around, the account portal and help take maybe some of that burden off of us. However, we still want to be sharing information and making sure that they understand all of the resources available to them to support their whole body wellness that go way beyond the product. And we have so many resources that it's really important for us to share all that. So you don't have to be the expert, but you need to share what the experts have to say. So there's several ways. Okay, check and just grab the other ones. Sorry, guys. My kiddos are like, where are the keys? So ways to engage are phone, text, email, social media, in person. That's probably happening a little less right now. Events, that's also happening a little less right now, unless you're doing the virtual events, which are a lot of those to be done. So that's a great way to connect as well. But today we want to just focus on the email component of it. And this is going beyond just sending an email from your Gmail or your Yahoo. This is really having an email marketing platform where you can actually systematize your communication. So I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by that in a second. But I thought that these statistics were really interesting and something important to share. So there was a study that was just done in June that looked at the impact of email marketing. And 81% of small businesses rely on email as their primary acquisition and their channel, and 80% they rely on it 80% for retention. So in our business, the acquisition is more our personal relationships, really having the conversations. But I looked at this 80% of retention and thought, you know what, this is a really good strategy for the retention component so that I can keep focusing on acquiring new through my conversations, because we only have so much time in our day, right? So you got to really think about how you're going to spend your time. The other thing is the average open rate for a welcome email is 82%. So if you can connect with them in a way and in the very beginning that is setting the stage, I think that it's really important to really do that and get them when they're fresh and they're going to be interested in what you have to say. The other thing is, I thought was interesting, 49% of consumers would like to receive a promotional email from their favorite brands. Well, we know that in Juice Plus, we don't have discounts. We don't send promotional emails other than like some of these fun events like we're having this summer, Add More Good and things like that. But the way I looked at this is, what if the promotional email isn't so much at sending a discount code, but sharing our other products? So you may have a customer who's been on the Trio forever, but do they know about the Omegas, or are they jumping in your shreds and ordering Complete? So creating these email flows aren't just about the education and keeping them on the product that they're on. It's also about helping educate them on how they can take that a step further, get their essential fatty acids in our plant-based omega, or get a Tower Garden and grow their own food. So this is just a way to kind of look at taking all those different pieces of the puzzle and putting them together. So that I just wanted to paint the picture for you guys of why we should think about doing this. And then the other part of the automation is going back to that consistency, right? We want our customers taking their products consistently, but one of the ways that we can ensure that we do that is if we communicate consistently. And because we're all busy, we have a lot of life events that are happening all the time. The world is real crazy right now. And that can be weighing on a lot of us. So having these systems in place will allow us to follow through on the things that we want to do, but know that, that we still have time to kind of manage through these other big life things. So how do we do this? So there's a bunch of different popular email marketing platforms, and there are even more than what's on this list, but these are kind of the most popular ones, and that also have plans that I feel like are reasonable. I used MailChimp for a very, very long time, and only in the last year did I switch over to one called MailerLite. I did that just because I found MailerLite to have some capabilities that were a little bit more user-friendly than some of the other platforms that I had tried out. But any of these are good. So it's really just a preference. And I'll give you a little example of what MailerLite looks like in just a second. But these are just things to think about as, something that's worth investing in as part of your business, because it is going to give you that ability to automate and systematize your communication. So let's talk about how do we put this into action. So if you guys haven't looked at the Customer Care Basic or the Customer Care Plus checklist that is in Freedom Revolution, I highly recommend that you do that, because that does provide this really great kind of, basic checklist for newer reps. Just looking at that basic checklist is a great way to start, just so we have those reminders. So I think those are really great. Like those are in my team's Facebook page to access, because then it just kind of gets us in that mindset of like, okay, I need to check in with them at this time, and here's some things I could share with them. So utilizing that is great. Then picking an email marketing platform, right? Deciding which one that you want to use, and then just getting your basic stuff set up. So what that's going to require is, this is number 4 on this list here, is getting your list. So going into your virtual office, you can actually pull from your genealogy report or some of your, your customer reports, and just get their email. And then all you're going to do is you're going to just input them into one of these email marketing systems. And then what I spent a lot of time doing, like kind of the end of 2019, beginning of 2020, is I went through all of our Juice Plus resources and looked through the content that was readily available. And I created this new customer email series Google Doc. And then I organized all of our different graphics that I wanted to include for these emails. So I'm going to show you what that looks like, just so you get a visual, because I know if you're like me, you just need a visual. So this is what I spent about a month creating this this series. And so it starts with day 1, welcome, to Better Health. Thanks for partnering with me. It's just a real basic intro email. And then it does go into a little bit about what Juice Plus is. So that it has a food label, all of these things. I have some video links, the farm to capsule, just really kind of getting people familiar with what they're taking. So then I have different emails you can see on, hopefully you guys can see here on the left-hand side. So I did day 1 all the way through day 110. So the idea with that is that there's a touch point roughly every few days to every week or two throughout that first 4-month or so period that they start on Juice Plus. And it has, you can see over here, everything from, managing your Juice Plus account to, the reasons we need Juice Plus. And I even pulled from some of our Healthy Living Revolution presentations on how, there's toxins in the environment, like really educating them about why we need this in the world today. This is a really good investment. And then it goes all the way through, like what's in the vegetable blend, what's in the berry blend. So it takes them all the way through. And then I even touch on a lot of the pillars that we touch on, like when we do the shreds: hydration, sleep, all of these different things. Then this great graphic I always love, like what happens to your body after 80 days on Juice Plus. So getting into the research side of it. I have some recipes in here. So it really gets down to and then the last one is, are you ready for next shipment? And then I have that link to the customer portal if they want to log in that way, or they can contact me, to help them manage it. So this just kind of shows you like that, all of these different potential touch points for that beginning phase. Okay. So once you have, let me just go back to this for a minute. Once you have your content, your graphics, got your list, that is when then you can do this automation. So what I did is I went into MailerLite, and you can see I got a bunch of different things going on here, but then I have this Juice Plus customer series. And then, so I took all that information and I put it into an automation flow, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. So now now it's all there. All you have to do is copy and paste it. So now it's in this automation flow. And so all those emails that you saw with the graphics, everything are all in this system. So all I have to do is add their email into that list, and it kicks it off. I don't have to do anything else other than touch base and make sure that they're getting the emails. Sometimes they will go into like a spam folder, or, depending on how people have their email set up, sometimes they go to like a promo tab or something like that. So there, you do still have to make sure that, that people are getting them, but this is now just running itself. So then the idea is that then you can just keep focusing on the other kind of customer care touch points, and then customer growth, and then team also, right? So that I just wanted to walk you guys through this process of like how to really take all of the great information that we already have available to us and put it into some of these systems so that we can really just manage this a lot easier. I'll show you real quick too. Like, I really like MailerLite because you can also do groups. So for example, I have people, I'll drop in the new customer email series, but then I also have Juice Plus past customer list, a current customer list. So now I can also go in and send targeted emails to each of these different lists as a way to engage. So let me just show you an example of some of those things. So like this last week, for example, I sent a little email on the one health habit I never skip. And it really just is like a real simple email. And it's just talking about, even as crazy as things are in the world today, or how I've started drinking coffee after 15 years because of quarantine life and things like that. Like, there's some things that have happened, and I'm not perfect, but there's one thing I do every day, and that's take my Juice Plus. And there's ways to communicate it where, like I did it kind of very subtly, and I never even use the word Juice Plus. I just talk about this whole food nutrition and what I get every day by taking it. So there's a lot of different things that you can do. Like this, I actually pulled from my new customer series. This never kills my vibe. And so I'm just sharing about the vegetable blend. Oh, I thought it was going to let me show you guys the actual message. It didn't do that, but I'd have to pull that up a different way. But anyways, there's this, like, you have all your lists already set up. So then you can really just share with them in different ways. Sometimes I just send a banana bread recipe? Or, you know, are you taking control in a toxic world? All of these different things that just are sharing the education part of a healthy lifestyle. So from there, then you can do, you know, like I said, you can do these weekly or monthly newsletters. You can also do personalized resource guides. So Tower Garden is another thing that I share a lot. And so utilizing either these email marketing platforms, but even things like Google Docs. So that's another tool that I use a lot, and I'll just show you guys an example of that. So for example, when I'm talking to people about Tower Garden, they typically have a lot of different questions. And so I came up with just a quick guide on what exactly Tower Gardens are. You know, how does it work? What do they grow in? And then, you know, these different options, and then frequently asked questions. And so all I have to do when someone is asking about Tower Gardens and I want to share with them, I can just go in here, click a link, and then share that link with, just email that link to someone. So these are just some other examples of things that we can really do to support our business and really help have things in a consistent place so that it's really easy for us to share. I have another one too that is, you know, when people order their Tower Garden and they need, sorry, there's a big truck going by right now. They need like an easy reference guide, you know, just sharing those kind of things, right? So I have my Addie's Tower Garden Growing Manual. I can send them to the Tower Garden website. I can put them on Tower Exchange. I can do all of those different things. But this makes it personal. And then I can also include links to videos. And then I can also include all of the different links on how to contact me or order new supplies. So those are just a couple things that I just really wanted to share with you guys. And just show you these different customer care touch points, in addition to other things like mailing small packages, you know, with shake samples and things like that, or, you know, hosting a virtual spa day, things like that. So anyways, that was a lot of information. I kind of blazed through it, but I am happy to answer questions. If anybody has specific questions or needs me to go into anything in more detail.
Why don't we just, if you guys have questions, let me see what time it is. We're probably going to jump into our planning, but put your questions in the chat section. And Addie, if you don't mind just answering questions through that section so that we can get our planning in. Man, I just want to say, wow, this is so impressive. I am just in awe of all that you've done here. And it would be interesting to see what your retention rate is with your customers because of this. Maybe just share a couple of comments that you've heard from your customers, because they have to be wowed by this.
Well, I'll tell you that I've only been doing this about 5 months now. So I have people that are just kind of coming through that first cycle of the automation series. And but I'm at this place where I'm like, want to go back and do this follow-up. And then I have a whole, you know, new people that I'm adding all the time. But what's cool about it is that I'll get responses back just because I even have like some funny, quirky little titles in some of the messages, or like even the subject lines. And people are like, oh, this really got my attention, or like things like that. So I think putting some humor into it too, and just showing everyone's got different personalities that they can share. So I do feel like it's like people are emailing me, and even past customers, well, it's like I'm still on their radar.
Mhm.
for some of these, you know, and so you just never know who's going to come back around. But that, yeah, I feel like now I'm in that place of like, okay, how can I go back and really analyze? And that's where these email marketing platforms are really great, because they'll show you click rates, they'll show you who's opened what email, and you can really go back and look at it and figure out what is working and tweak it.
Okay, I have one question, and I'm breaking my rules because I said to put it in the chat. But okay, so I use Constant Contact.
Mm-hmm.
Help me understand why you created your email series in Google Docs and then pulled it into your mailing contact system.
The reason I did that is just probably partly how my brain works. Like, I need to kind of flesh out all of the content. And I wanted to like have the graphics ready and just have it organized. So
Mhm.
that was one of the reasons why. Also for, you know, typos, just kind of being able to read through it and make sure that I had it all there. The other reason is that I also wanted it to be a tool that I could share with my team. I
Mm,
wanted them to have the content. I wanted them to be able to use it and hit the ground running and not have to reinvent the wheel.
nice. It is so professional. I love it. I love
Thank you. All
it. Okay,
right, I'll stop this screen share.
I am gonna stop the recording.